Here we are for Safe TV, and in front of us is Mr. Ben Warner from JCCI. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great.
All right, well, again, what we're doing here today is talking about JAX2025, as well as finding out who you are, as well as JCCI. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Ben Warner. I'm the president and CEO of JCCI. I've been in Jacksonville for about 20 years and with JCCI for the last 15. And this has been a tremendous opportunity, I think, to get involved with the future of Jacksonville and to make things grow the way that I think Jacksonville has a potential to become.
Well, great. So being the CEO of JCCI, with you being here as long as you have, what initiatives brought about JAX 2025?
Well, JCCI was created back in 1975 as with the express purpose of being the place to bring people together. And so since 1975, we brought people together to learn about the community, engage in problem solving, and then act to make positive change. We've done those on very issue-specific kinds of things.
Okay.
Everything from looking at local government structures and creating unitary primary elections and term limits for our local government, to creating organizations like the Nonprofit Center of Northeast Florida, the Bridge of Northeast Florida, creating public policy changes at the local and state level, helping create some pretty exciting new programs, policies, and evaluating some other kinds of work in the community. There's been a number of changes that have happened because of these issue-specific work, from everything from arts and culture to reducing the murder rate. However, one of the things that we saw, we do a lot of work in other communities. We do consulting work around the world. And we saw that when we could help other communities come together and create a shared vision of where they wanted to go, then all of these specific initiatives could get tied into a bigger picture. You could get greater collaboration, greater initiatives, greater efforts, and you'd see greater change in the community and sustainable change. And so we had, at the same time, we were doing some other work in Jacksonville around our local city finances. And out of that work, the people who have been working on that said, you know what Jacksonville really needs is a vision, because we can't tell whether we're being effective and efficient in the expenditure of city dollars until we have an idea of what it is we're trying to accomplish. And so with those two things happening, us doing visioning work in other places and this other group saying we need visioning in Jacksonville, we decided we could do JAX 2025 right here at home.
Wow, that's a lot of information that, you know, I've never been privy to, and probably a lot of folks, you know, who are going to be viewing this. And so that goes back a long time, and all these things that have come into play. So when JAX 2025 came together with the surveys that were going out, and I believe from what the PowerPoint came up with was over 14,000 people that participated in this. When that first event happened a couple of weeks ago, what was your feeling, and what got accomplished that day?
I'll tell you what, I'll start with my feelings. I can't tell you how proud I was of this community. The passion, the energy, the enthusiasm of all these people coming together, the hope they had in what Jacksonville could become, and their willingness to, it was a cold and blustery Saturday morning, and yet we saw these people coming in saying, we want to work together, we're willing to work together to try to make Jacksonville a better place. I mean, I was just proud to be a part of all of that. And then what came out of it were a set of priorities, really. As people identified the good things in Jacksonville that needed preservation and the challenges in Jacksonville that needed to be improved, we were able to put all of those together to craft a set of priorities. And then on February 2nd, we're coming together and we're taking those 10 priorities that came out of that first meeting, and we're going to turn those into vision statements with statements of clarity, boldness, and passion that can help really change the way that we work as a community. You know, Bill Gates just issued his annual letter, and his annual letter is based on the philanthropic work that he does out around the world. In that annual letter, he says, you know, what he's come to realize is that you need a goal that is clear and purposeful, with the power to move people, and you need measurement, that ways to measure progress that will help you identify what you're doing enable you to have to make miraculous change. Without those two things, that clear goal and a system of measurement behind it, progress doesn't happen. With those two, he says he's been amazed at the results around the world. That's what we're creating in Jacksonville. So February 2nd, we're coming together. We're having those clear goals, those statements of purpose and clarity. On March 19th, we're coming back together. We're going to add the measurements behind them. What is it? How will we know if we're successful? What is it we can do to make sure that what we're doing, we're making progress? And how do we find ways of sticking those measurements with this so we can hold ourselves accountable for change?
Okay.
A goal without those measurements is a dream. It's a wish.
Right.
With those measurements in place, then it gives us the ability to evaluate ourselves. Are we really doing what we set out to do? Our programs and policies and projects, are they working to bring us closer to where we want to be as a community?
Okay.
And that's and then when we have those two things in place, then in April we get back together and say, all right, if these are where we want to be, these are the measurements that tell us whether or not we're getting there. What are the specific steps? What are those programs, policies, projects? What are the actions we need to take in order to get us to that vision?
And then I believe in May is the wrap-up.
Well, in May, it's the release event.
Okay.
It's because it's not really a wrap-up.
Okay.
In May, what we do is we share with the community, here's the plan.
Right.
Here's the plan with our visions and our measures and our action steps. But in sharing that with the community is also the launch of the implementation effort.
Okay.
And so JAX2025 doesn't end, it just shifts gears.
Right.
And so we complete that planning effort and then launch into action. And we're expecting some pretty amazing action steps right away. It was interesting, this week, Mayor Brown held a press conference on Tuesday. In that press conference, he said, look, they refinanced the city's debt, refinanced about $1 billion worth of bonds. We're able in that to get a remarkably low rate on those bonds that frees up for this year alone $11 million. And that $11 million they're ready to invest in some very specific things that we need in our community. And what he began by saying is JAX2025 told us we've got a priority that we need to worry about downtown. And so he's got $9 million of that he's asking City Council for permission to go and invest it in downtown projects, to leverage it with private dollars to be able to start doing already what JAX2025 is asking. And so we're just getting started and we're already seeing some results happening.
All right. Well, this is exciting developments, and just knowing that, Safety First, CPR safety training is part of that, going to be part of that process, just as this one entity and all these other small businesses and individuals that are coming together along with JCCI and its constituents. This is a very exciting process. So my second to last question would be, how does safety, how is that involved in JAX2025 and the city overall? How does that encompass all that?
Well, it's interesting because when we look at the quality of life in the city,
right.
In order to enjoy the quality of life, you have to feel safe. And you have to be able to, you can't participate in activities if you don't feel safe with those activities. Right. You're not comfortable at home if you don't feel safe in your home. Right. So safety is I think woven in the fabric of this vision, and I think we're going to have some conversations about that at the event on February 2nd, and then some follow-up as we talk about measurements of safety.
Okay.
We've been asking people and doing a survey as part of our quality of life progress report. Every year since 1985, we've asked people the question, do you feel safe walking alone in your neighborhood at night?
Right.
That very simple question tells a lot about how we are doing in helping people feel like that they have a way of really interacting with their neighborhood and are comfortable in their own homes. What we've seen over 28 years of asking this question is that about 2/3 of us feel good at night in the neighborhoods we live in. About a third of us don't. And this is our opportunity to really try to make it right for everyone.
Okay. Well, great. And then one of the last questions are, how does the community get involved if they haven't been involved already or even heard about JAX2025?
The easiest way is to go to JAX2025.org, log in, and participate there. There are opportunities to join in person in our meetings. If you missed a meeting, there's videos and there's all kinds of material on the website to see what you missed, and then join in. We'd love to have you at any of our meetings. They're open to the public. They're free of charge, and we'd love to have you be part of that conversation.
Okay, well, thank you. Again, this is Mr. Ben Warner, the CEO of JCCI, and is heading up JAX2025, and we thank you for being here on Safe TV.
Well, I thank you for coming and talking with me.
All right, thank you.